What up? What it is? What it is? I'm just trying out this live thing. I'm not sure if this will be regular. I ain't gonna even sit here and pretend like this shit might end up being regular. But we'll see how it goes, depending on what niggas have to talk about. If niggas got some hot shit to talk about, and I find this shit intriguing enough, perhaps this can be something of a more of a regularity. But if it's a bunch of bullshit, I'm gonna become disinterested real quick. You dig? So let's see how to work this shit. I guess it's pretty much as simple as it looks. Um, I don't know. I can't really see who all in here. I don't know this shit. Sipping on um, Hennessy mixed with this organic apple juice. I typically like to mix with Martinelli's, but I didn't get Martinelli's this time. I chose to get something else because I be picking Martinelli's up. You dig? Peace, peace, Harmony 9, peace, peace is still wooting, peace. What it do? What it do? It's slow motion around this motherfucker. I'm outside with the elements. I know y'all can hear them crickets and shit. The crickets and the bats and foxes. Smoking on that motherfucking wedding cake. I tell you, before I came across this shit, I was smoking on some bullshit. It's like I couldn't get fucking high. Like, have you ever smoked for a while, or for consecutive amount of days, and you start to lose what the high feeling is about? Then you got to take like a 24 to 48 hour hiatus just so you can feel the weak ass weed you was just smoking. The fucking pain in the neck. Until you come across some good shit, nigga. The good shit neutralizes all the bullshit. Cuts through all the red tape, nigga. It don't even matter. If you was going through I can't get high drought, as soon as you find some good shit like this shit, my nigga, you're back in La La Land. What up, Carl? What up, player? So yeah, that's what this shit is. That's what this shit is right here. What it do though? Guess I'll fire it up in a little bit. Woo. I think I put a little bit too much Henny in this bitch. Mm. It's like I'm making up for lost time. I went I went decades without ever smoking or drinking. Once I discovered this shit, let's just say I've been exploring it. And then you wonder to yourself, like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, why? Like, why the fuck did I deprive myself of this good shit? Like, why? You ever ask yourself that when you reflect back on your life on certain things that you kind of refrain from, things that you thought was fucking dangerous? I remember the first time I seen the Baphomet symbol. Huh, nigga, what the fuck was that? Take yourself back to that time, nigga. Perhaps some of you niggas was fortunate. It wasn't so much as I was afraid of it. I was afraid of believing what it stood for. You dig what I'm saying? That's what had me in fear. You understand? When I first seen that Baphomet symbol, I was afraid that I would end up believing what it stood for. Ain't that something? Let that bake on your noodle. To fear something just because you're afraid of actually believing in it. Whoo, nigga. Nigga, that's some ill shit. Ancient Chaos, 333, what it do? Mad 528, what up, player? We in the building. We chilling. Chopping up some bullshit. You ain't missed nothing yet. But right now, we just kind of baking noodles right now. You reckon? You reckon? That's what my granddaddy Jimmy used to say. My grandmother on my mother's side, her first husband, his name was Basil Riley. He was from the Bahamas. He had a deep Bahamian accent. He used to talk like this, you know. Come on now, Basil. My name is Basil. You know, he talked like that, Basil. You reckon? You reckon? That's where I get that from. He used to say, you reckon so hard. It was just infectious, nigga. You reckon? You reckon? That shit was fucking divine. How he just hit that shit. And dig, my grandmother, she had 4 children by this man. Cause she had 2 children. What was it? She had 3 children by my grandfather on my mother's side. But her first husband, she had 4 children by this man. And if I'm not mistaken, my grandmother had the first of what ended up being his like 20 something children later on in life. You dig? That motherfucker was getting around. You dig? You dig what I'm saying? He was running up on them hoes with that Bahamian accent, nigga. Hey, baby, what you doing now? Go and ride on here right there on your feet now, girl. And dig, he was a bus driver too. He was a bus driver. So every hoe that came on the bus, he was trying to slay him. You dig? Oh, nigga. I heard a story of my grandmother. She so happened to be walking out and about some shit. I don't know the full story. But her husband, my granddaddy Jimmy, he happened to pull up on a bus stop that happened. I guess my grandmother happened to be on a certain route. She caught this nigga talking to a hoe as she was coming on the bus. And I heard my grandmother run up on that bus, get that nigga. Pow! Pow! Nigga. The fuck you mean, nigga? Nigga, sugar ain't sweet around this bitch. I don't know how they do it in the Bahamas. But nigga, this is Tampa, Florida. My grandmother gave me one of them payouts. And let me tell you something. My grandmother's, I ain't got the biggest hands in the world. But my grandmother's hands, they like dwarf my hands. They like this. And my grandmother got them, boy, like straight up, I pick peanuts. You understand? Like big hands. You know, and she's a pastor. Now, eerily enough, although she's a pastor, I tell you something, yo, and maybe some of y'all who went to church perhaps have come across certain individuals who are Christians who have certain fucking healing gifts. My grandmother was one of those individuals. I was gonna say one of those motherfuckers, but you see how I caught myself, nigga. I caught myself because I definitely was about to hit her with a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? No cap. But she like I done seen her like swollen arms, swollen knees. She's like she put that big hand on it. She knew how to channel that energy. Whether she was giving up that energy to someone outside of her, which was obvious, it didn't fucking matter. Her power was undeniable. I done seen her heal motherfuckers clean. I remember a woman came into church. she had some sort of disease that caused for her to have like caused people to have like bone. She had like holes in her bone marrow, like real fucked up. My grandmother went up to her, start praying over her body. Like the next week, the woman came back with the X-rays showing all the holes filled up. Nigga, I can't make this shit up, nigga. I can't make this shit up. My grandmother had that healing shit. So them superpowers exist when the motherfucker truly believe in what they doing. She believes in that shit. She believes in that shit. You dig? By the power. Before she laid hands on the motherfucker, she used to say that was her trademark. Them big ass claws. Pow! By the power. That's how she used to say that shit. Motherfuckers to get the juking and percolating and shit. You dig? She was frying their ass up. Hit their ass by the power. Them motherfuckers used to be healed, you dig? Them motherfuckers was healed by the power. Bad motherfucker. Bad motherfucker. Let me see. My maternal grandmother had some sausages and she had this healing power. And we got burnt called taught in the fire, and it could only be taught from women to men, vice versa. Hell yeah. That's how that shit go, them ancient ass remedies. It's either gonna be a remedy where there's a lot of confidence in it, where you ensure the shit works, or it's just a person who just personally just has the confidence in whatever it is that they're doing. And they just make that shit happen. You know what I mean? Them old remedies be working. And some motherfuckers just really have healing powers. You dig? So yeah, man. I remember one time she went to some family out in the country, you know. So she's on the road. I believe she is like on the road with an evangelist. His name is Brother Terrell. He was like real big in the South. She somehow come across this lady who had a water well that just dried up and it wasn't working any longer. And so these people used to have to like literally like go miles and miles and miles just to get some water so they can carry it home so they can use it for all the utility purposes. You understand what I'm saying? So the story goes, my grandmother went up there. She goes up there, and long story short, she goes over the well, and she just puts her hands over that motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? She puts her hands in there. Now, mind you, they done tried every method in the world in order to try to get this shit fixed. My grandmother goes there. She puts her hands on it, and she said, give me one of those jugs of water that y'all have. Now, all the stories that they heard about my grandmother being a healer, they still was apprehensive about giving her that water. Because they like, man, we got to go so far just to get this shit. It's so valuable. But they was like, fuck it, we done tried everything else. So they give my grandmother this bucket and she pours it in the well, puts her hands over that shit. The well gets to coughing. You know what I'm saying? They had to figure out a way to get the water to turn off. You dig what I'm saying? Powerful. Powerful. You dig? And she's a gateway. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely a gateway because she gave birth to about 4 of us that are like pretty conscious. You know what I mean? Like I remember I have a cousin named Darius, right? He was like a 5% when we were young. I think I was like 17. And you gotta remember Christianity is pretty much all I know. I remember this nigga just told me blatantly when I was 17 that he was God. And I thought that shit was ridiculous. Think about that. Think about that. That nigga told me that shit. I'm 35 now. He told me that shit damn near 2 decades ago. He said it with such confidence and conviction. I remember just accepting it because he said he was so confident about it. I didn't believe it at the time, but he was so confident. He was like 20 years old. He was just like, nigga, I'm God. Yeah, I'm God. I remember niggas thinking like, nigga, how? I remember thinking like, nigga, how? But lo and behold, here we are. Here we are. What's up, man? Y'all ain't talking, man. What's up? Y'all ain't talking about shit. Y'all ain't got no questions. I need some energy. Eyes is red than a motherfucker. What up? Do y'all have anything riveting to converse about? I ain't got shit to do. I'm chilling. I'm moving this weekend. Shit is getting packed up. I'm ready to go. Ready to get into this house. Real shit all come down to self. What does that mean? Elaborate. Elaborate a little bit. What is self? What is self? Oh, it's all good. Peace. It's all to the good. We chilling. Why is it important to know self? What is that? Why is that important? What is self? Yeah, me too. On this journey, found the 5% nation by my first cousin when I was 13. Word, word. My cousin hit me with that shit. I was like 17. It was so radical sounding to me. I was like, nigga, you said you God, nigga? You was just in church the other day, praising the Lord. That nigga said he was God. I said, oh ho ho ho, fuck. That's different. I still believe in Jesus, but that's different. That was my thinking at that time, boy. I still believe in Jesus. That's how it is, man. There's levels to this shit. Once you realize that everything you study is just a study of your own mind, it's really so fucking simple then. You start to piecemeal all this shit together. And then you start to develop this this understanding that it's all describing your black mind. How do you get into meditation personally? Hmm. I mean, it's so personal. You know what I mean? To get into a particular method, um, from point A to Z, I think that would be controlling your shit too much. I definitely feel like the way however you're meditating right now is perfect. It's perfect because yourself will eventually you eventually will your meditation will unfold. It will continue to evolve as long as your heart is sincere because your higher self knows. It knows. It definitely knows. When your heart is sincere, Bobby Hemmett, he talks about this female deity that lives inside of your heart chakra. It makes all the judgment. So it reads your heart. It knows when you're sincere. So eventually your meditation will just continue to unfold as you continue to be diligent about it, as you continue to do it day after day after day. And your intentions should be pure. It should be pure to you. It shouldn't be all about material shit. Which ain't nothing wrong with material shit. But you wanna put things in its proper place. See, gotta do the inner work. Ancient Chaos says gotta do the inner work and reprogram to get closer to your true self, not the person you were told to be, and taking responsibility on all angles of your life. Word. That's word. The thing is it's chaos. It's just so hard to see that. You know, it's very hard to see that. Okay, man. Spot. You said, fuck it, I'll play devil's advocate. Let's hear your perspective of the soul and the spirit. Wow. Shit. The soul and the spirit. Um, the spirit, the spirit itself. It appears to me that it's the idea of the soul. It's the idea that the soul takes on in a particular incarnation. That's what the spirit is to me. It's the soul of the idea based on the experience that it needs to have for itself to know itself. You know, so it's the idea of the soul. The soul itself is a part of. It's a part of the underlining all, the unit itself. It is the agent that allows itself to experience itself. You know, it's really unknowable. It's really in fucking describable. I mean, I'm really kind of wasting my breath trying to explain it because I really be kind of doing it an injustice, honestly. You know, I'll be doing injustice. I really can't truly explain it. I just know that it is what is, which is everything, whatever everything is, and what everything isn't. No doubt, Doug. Straight up, no doubt. The spirit is kind of easier to see because we're around them all the time. It's kind of easy to kind of you know. So when you look at a Prince, he's an incarnation of Dionysus. Look at Michael Jackson, incarnation of Pan. These energies manifest. The difference, well, I mean, well, they say that the spirit um remains here on Earth. It's a part of this place. It is created here and it stays here for whatever purpose it has. The soul moves on from the spirit, which is the idea, which is the ego. So the idea is to leave it behind. Leave the spirit here, get rid of that idea. What's up, Stray? What up? Peace. You know. What do y'all think? What did y'all think about the last video? If you happen to if you happen to have caught it, the one that I got, the one that my lady cut me off on. She's so sweet. She was so apologetic about it, but it was perfect. It happened exactly how it was supposed to. After death, Douglas says, if I'm just a soul, what is my mindset, awareness of self gonna be like? I wonder. I astral project, but I feel there's gonna be a difference. The way to kind of wrap your mind around what it's gonna be like is that you have to divorce yourself of all preconceived notions of what it could be. Bobby Hemmett makes an excellent analogy about what a dog would do if he was human. If you ask a dog what it would do as human, it would say, well, I would eat all the alcohol in the world, and I'll be sniffing every ass I could possibly get to because I would have access to cars and planes, and I could sniff all the asses across the world and eat all the best dog food. The idea is to understand that your perspective is going to be extremely limited based on your human mindset. So it's really kind of hard to know. That's why symbology is so important. And that's why I'm studying symbology now. Like I don't know it all. I know I have to start studying symbology, and I recognize that in myself, so I can get rid of this human, like this human imagination to try to understand shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because your subconscious mind will speak to you through symbology. So you have to step your symbology game up so you can start making better connections in those realms. I gotta step my motherfucking game up. Like for me to start making videos, like that's one of the hardest, one of the most difficult things I've ever did in my life. That's real. That's like straight up honest, 100% honest. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Like I did a video. Excuse me, y'all. Woo! I did a video on the YouTube channel Dreamwise, and as I did the video, which was a crazy breakthrough. Um, what Drea, which was the young lady that was co-host on the interview, she she had made mention that I had been on like several videos with the brother Panic. When she had first made mention of the fact that I had appeared on a video, I thought she was only referring to the last video that I did several months ago. It never had occurred to me that I had appeared on more than one video with, right, his wife, Dre. Dre. So it didn't occur to me until she mentioned it that I had been on more than one video with the brother. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have to understand this. I wasn't I wasn't caught up in like his celebrity in the sense of his impact in the conscious community. That wasn't really my focus. I really just kind of revered him as a teacher. You understand what I'm saying? My issue with him was getting past him just being my teacher and become a fucking peer. That was my problem. I had to find that balance between student and teacher. You know what I'm saying? That guy within me, which was very difficult emotionally, because you're dealing with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with emotions, because you start to connect shit to people that you look up to. You have father issues, that shit can filter over to your teachers. You got mama issues, that shit can filter over to your teachers. You understand what I'm saying? You have rejection issues, not fitting in, failure, things of that nature. It will fuck you up. You got to put on your big boy drawers in this occult shit. You got to put your big boy drawers on. Otherwise, you get motherfucking left behind. I heard Bobby Hemmings say something profound one time. He said, to go from one extreme to the other is the same thing. So even if you're extremely religious, only to become extremely conscious, so to speak, to just say if they parallel, because they really kind of don't. Religion don't even compare to consciousness, but let's just pretend that they parallel. You got religion, and then you become super conscious. You can get stuck in that shit too, in consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Them super deep niggas, you understand what I'm saying? Them super deep niggas that go out in the forest. You dig what I'm saying? You know who the fuck I'm talking about, them type of niggas. Like them niggas that's just like extremely super deep. You know, when and then they develop, they have to have they start developing followings because they begin to smell their shit. You understand what I'm saying? They gotta have followers. You understand what I'm saying? The idea is to find that balance. Is that that Vesica Pisces symbol. You know what I'm saying? You want to get in the coochie, right in the middle of the coochie. I like getting in the middle of the coochie. I think y'all should definitely figure out a way to get in the middle of the coochie, because that's where it's at, in the middle of the coochie. You reckon? Wedding cake. Mm, 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 mm. Can't even remember the last wedding I've been to. All right, let me read some of this shit. My bad, y'all. My bad. Let me read some of this shit. Okay. The ayahuasca video. Yeah, I seen the ayahuasca video posted. Me picking up the motherfucking pieces. Let me see what they'll talk about. Next question. When I'm relaxed in a dark room, I can sometimes see a small blue swirling light fading in and out of distance. Any insight on that? Because I haven't been able to find anything on it. I need you to elaborate on that. Because I'm so fucking high, that shit sounded like poetry, nigga. Nigga, I thought I was reading motherfucking Robert Frost. That shit sounded so eloquent. That shit sounded eloquent as fuck. I used to talk like that, Doug. I swear to God. I used to talk like that. I used to be an eloquent speaking motherfucker, boy. Like if my words could appear as I speak, them shits would have been in cursive, nigga. And to think of it, I failed the seventh grade twice, didn't even finish the ninth grade, and yet I was still able to motherfucking develop like this incredible vocabulary, nigga. Shit was wild. But I had to have that vocabulary for my insecurity. You dig? Not finishing school was a major weight on my worth, on my self worth. It's fucking me up. It fucked me up. You dig? That shit is some heavy pain. That shit comes with heavy rain. Make a nigga go insane. Bars. Wedding cake. You reckon? Hitting that wedding cake, nigga. I wonder if my Bahamian grandfather ever smoked some Jamaican weed or Bahamian weed. I wonder. I wonder. He had 20 something children. That means he was definitely doing some real sinning. I reckon he was doing some sinning. I definitely reckon. I definitely reckon. I had a cousin. I have a cousin. I had a cousin. My cousin. I have a cousin who passed away when he was real young. And my uncle Basil, which is my grandfather's first son out of many. You understand? His name is Basil, right? So at the funeral, and Basil is Ben, my cousin Ben. That's his father. Ben passed away when he was 21. Okay, so we go to the funeral. Long story short, I kid you not, my granddaddy Basil, he introduced me to like 7 or 8 different Basils. I'm gonna let y'all let that sink in for a little bit. You think you done heard and seen it all? My my grandfather introduced me to about 8 Basils. Let me tell you how ill and powerful he is. My middle name is Basil, and that's not even my grandfather by blood. Nigga, that's power. He had like 7 or 8 of his own Bezos that he introduced to me personally. Either them was all his sons, or those was all a few of his sons, the grandsons. Whatever the case is, Bezos run that bitch. Legacy submitted. Said y'all, Mass 528 said y'all need to check out that Sunday service on Dreamwise channel. Shit was epic, man. That shit was fucking fire. That shit was so emotional. Nigga, I cried for days after that shit, nigga. Nigga, I was just crying, nigga. Crying. Going back and looking at the video. Just crying, nigga. Just crying. Because just when you think you over something, just when you think you fucking over it, just when you think you over it, that shit just sneaks up on your whole ass. That shit snuck up on my whole ass. When I thought about the when I thought about the circumstances of failing the 7th grade twice, no high school diploma, not finishing the 9th grade, and then like thinking about all the shit, the past, and all the jobs and shit leading up to it, and then for me to get that shit, nigga, I had never thought about it that way. You did. It was because of y'all that conversation could be had. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be able to feel that breakthrough. I didn't know I had all that emotion in me. Because I don't tend to be an emotional nigga like that, really. So, that shit was like, whoa. Nigga, I just cried and cried after that shit. Watching that shit was wild, kid. Shit, word. Man, hell yeah. To those issues that shadow for real. That's real rap. You said you thought it was good. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That shit was definitely a journey. It was my journey. It was my story. I didn't see it that hard to explain. You know, it was real. I was ready to. I would just say I was just ready to tell it. At that moment, I was ready to tell it. I remember leading up to the day. You know, like, and sometimes you can be used to having a defeated type of mentality. You know what I mean? Like, man, you gonna get on this camera, you gonna fuck up. You understand? But then what you have to do is lean on your own understanding. You got to remind yourself who the fuck you is, and then you got to tap into your power. You understand what I'm saying? I came out this motherfucker, took a Henny shot, boom, spit some libations around this bitch, called on that Hermes and that Tahuti energy, nigga, and went the fuck in. I didn't have to think. That shit just all came from my subconscious. I didn't have to fucking think. That shit just came out. Yeah, man. You watch them videos, man. Like if you happen to record yourself talking about that shit, like I did, nigga, that shit was therapeutic. That shit was therapeutic. You did. Watching that shit, I was just like, nigga, I had to go get motherfucking bales of tissue. Crying. My lady crying with me. We both out this bitches. Nigga, that shit was wild as fuck. All that shit led up to this shit. The shit that I'm doing now. Speaking, talking, you know, talking to people. You don't realize how relatable your story is, you know, until you speak about it, and then people be like, damn, like fuck, I know what that's like, nigga. I know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. Oh, nigga, you ain't, nigga, trust me. I know exactly what you talking about. You know, and that's touching. You know, that's very touching. Very touching. Like that whole time, like when Dre and Dream was talking, after I started, I was crying that entire time. I thought y'all could see me, man. I was just like so like man, I didn't want to be seen. So I didn't know how Zoom works. It worked in a manner in which whoever's talking, their face got the screen. Because I could see both of them the entire time. Like so when I'm talking, like understand, like I didn't even know y'all was even there. I wasn't even thinking about y'all. I was just having a conversation with them, like they was family. You dig? So that shit was coming. That shit was real. It helped me tap into something inside of me. You know what I mean? That allowed me to gain the confidence to like really start conveying this shit properly. Understanding and knowing that when I look at back at my journey, that knowing if I had actually excelled in school, that if I had actually went to college and got a good job, it is quite likely I wouldn't even be in this shit. And even if I was in this shit, I probably would have used it for something else. So I had to be humble. You understand? I had to be humble to get here. That shit is spiritual. And that shit requires reflection. So you can recognize that shit. I had to realize I had to go through that path. You understand? I had to go through that path. This path it was something I must do. I had to do it. You dig? I had to do it. So I can, realize something in myself. Every person who was born is a question. You know, you heard Panic say that. Everyone who was born is a question. And what you ultimately become is what your soul needs in order to wake itself up. You understand what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson had to be Michael Jackson for his own understanding. Like understand that and like think about like how profound that is. Like he had to be Michael Jackson to understand who he was. He had to be that grand. He had to be that spectacular to understand who he was. That shit's fucking amazing to me. He had to be Michael Jackson to understand who he was. You dig? That's how it is. That's how it is. When you look back at your life and then you reflect, you realize how spectacular it is, even just for you. You understand what I'm saying? I was crying on camera like when Michael Jordan won the championship in '91. I can kind of understand what that feeling was like, nigga. When you just in there, when you watching him cry after winning that championship, you be like, nigga, I understand you worked hard, but damn. But when you have that sort of emotional breakthrough, that shit does feel it feels triumphant. You understand what I'm saying? I knew I had nothing to worry about from that point forward. I had nothing to worry about. That pain of dealing with that sort of failure as a child. I remember my grandmother on my father's side told me when I was a young boy, because I was kind of acting up in school, nigga, I never forget. I think I was like in the sixth grade. I never forget. Check this out. My grandmother Mary, she told me, she said, if you keep fucking around, your sister Angel, who's a year under me, she said, your sister Angel gonna catch you and pass you the fuck up. Think about that, nigga. Think about that on a child's psyche. I remember thinking like, That ain't gonna fucking happen. That ain't gonna happen. Like, that ain't gonna happen. Nah, that ain't gonna happen to me. She ain't gonna catch me. Lo and behold, nigga, failed the seventh grade the first time. Pow. Ooh. Now let me tell you how embarrassing it is to fail a grade. If you haven't gone through this shit, it is some of the worst pain a child could ever go through. I think when a child, I mean, fuck, it's kind of like, damn, you just got to go through it. I guess. I mean, you could do shit differently, but fuck. So I went to Beverly Middle School. So when you walk into the school, before you go to homeroom, after you get off the bus, there are certain sections against the wall that sixth grade sat, seventh grade, and eighth grade. Eighth grade was on the wall when you first walk in. So imagine when you fail the seventh grade and your eighth grade buddies is all on the wall and the girls is there. Understand the pain of embarrassment walking past them motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? It's like going through a gauntlet, nigga. Your confidence is shot. Your confidence is fucked. Only so now you're going into, you would think that trauma was enough to kick you in the ass to get you over the next time, only to find out that the teachers remember you from last year and they didn't like you last year and they like you even worse this year and they don't give a fuck. You understand? They have nothing vested in you. They don't give a fuck. You dig? So boom, bam, fail that motherfucker again. Now you walking past your underclassmen, nigga. Pain, failure. You understand what I'm saying? I barely passed that motherfucker the next year. Barely. You know what's interesting is that when I was in school, it wasn't really about the work. I honestly just truly, I just remember just giving up on school. I can kind of give you somewhat of the origins of what made me become disinterested in school. I remember in the fifth grade, I was going to a charter school in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it's all fucked up at right now. I went to a charter school in Minneapolis, and in this school, up to that point, I've been going there for about 2 years. So up to that point, they never gave us any grades to show us where we kind of, stood. They just kind of passed us through, right? But one time, something happened to where they decided to give us a series of tests. They gave us a series of tests, and whatever, they end up grading these fucking tests, right? So long story short, they handing out all these grades, but they're not showing you like what these grades are based on at all. They're not showing you what these grades are based on at all. I remember like you have like S for like supreme or satisfactory, which is the highest you can get. And you have like E for efforts and things like that. I remember when my teacher handed me that shit, I was looking at all those fucking E's, and I remember like seeing like the white boy Joey and the Asian kid over there like getting all these S's, and me knowing in my heart that they was not smarter than me. I remember at that moment losing interest in school. Right there at that moment. When they was giving them better grades than me, and I knew just by being around, I just knew just based on basic conversation. You know what I'm saying? Just based on the basic schoolwork and everything else. I knew they wasn't smarter than me. I remember losing confidence in school at that moment. I stopped doing work. I was fucking up then. I started fucking up then. It was downhill from there. It was downhill from there. I never fucking recovered, nigga. Man, hell yeah, Stray. You know what I'm saying? School is boring as shit. They teach you the same shit every year, over and over and over again. It's not interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's not interesting. I should just take ass whooping. I should just take ass whooping for bad grades and get on punishment. I should get the most severe punishment for bad grades. Oh, it's fucking terrible. I missed out on many childhood days. Many childhood days. Many. many childhood days because of fucking school. And then I had parents who, for whatever reason, decided they wasn't going to pay for it for summer school. You understand what I'm saying? They just said, fuck it, niggas just failed. It is what it is. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. It was all working in the end. Hey, you said, plus I got tired of ass whoopings? Hell yeah. I was getting my ass tagged. Definitely getting ass whoopings and getting sit on punishment for weeks and weeks on end. It was fucking terrible. No TV, no nothing. That's how it go. So shit, man, such is life. When you reflect, you start to realize how extremely difficult it is to get over this human shit. Very hard. It ain't easy. It ain't easy getting over this human shit. It's so much shit. That's why you have to start with the basics with this shit. You really got to start with the basics. You know. And I suggest anyone who is serious to take Brother Planet's class if you haven't, because he's going to give you the step by step it takes and the tools that you would need, an abundance of fucking tools. You understand what I'm saying? An abundance of tools that you can use, because you'll realize that everything is a fragment of information. There is not no one place that you can go that can, there are so many different avenues you can go in order to get those breakthroughs. There's not one particular avenue. So what he does on a masterful level is that he gives you so many different areas that you can explore on your own, and then you can make your own choice. Once you realize there is no wrong way you can go, this shit becomes a little bit more enjoyable. You dig what I'm saying? You stop beating yourself up, and you stop having a mentality to where you feel like you're doing it wrong all the time. You always feel like you're doing it right. Like your imagination is really important in this shit. Ashley says, "Hey, what up, Ashley? How are you? Can you further elaborate on how you switched your mentality from feeling like a failure?" Ooh, damn. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. 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 Hmm. All right. So it all comes down to unconditional love for yourself. Now you hear that a lot. I know this shit is like something that you hear all the time, but it really truly comes down to self love. And self love without condition means that you accept all your flaws and idiosyncrasies that you think of about yourself that you don't like about yourself. That little mole that's right under your left titty, right there, that's next to that hair that kind of hangs out next to it. You got to accept that mole. You understand? You got to look at that motherfucker and say, that bitch is sexy. Like when niggas look at that mole and that hair coming out that titty right there, it just turns niggas on. You know what I'm saying? You got to start there. You understand? Like I had to accept that I'm 35. I never had to shave in my life. Don't you think I want to be sexy with the big beard? Don't you think I want that, Ashley? Don't you think my ego would just be like, like would just relish in that hot tub of a nice fresh beard? Don't you think I want it? I had to accept that it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like my father, he was able to grow a beard when he was like 15, 16. That shit wasn't hereditary. He could at least handed that shit down to me. I'd have gladly took that motherfucker. I had to accept that, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna be 6 feet, 6'4". You know what I'm saying? I had to, like I started to value things that were more so intangible, and that's what built the confidence in me. I started to value the things that I started to see that were actually dope about me. So that so once you start to look at yourself as dope, you start to accept a winner mentality. You start to see yourself in dope situations as you see yourself as dope. You dig what I'm saying? You got to see yourself as dope as fly in your mind. I started to reflect what's in my mind. I started to carry myself better. I started to dress better and shit like that. I started to be a little bit fresh. I started to pull better hoes. You dig what I'm saying? Shit started to level up for me. With better hoes in my mind. Because there's niggas out there that can get them Instagram bitches. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever you reckon. You dig what I'm saying? You gotta love yourself unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? That shit is difficult. That shit is difficult because you've been told you've been ugly, or you've been told you ain't handsome enough. You know what I'm saying? Like when you grew up in the '90s, nigga, like the fly niggas was the light skinned niggas with the long hair, the wavy braids. You understand what I'm saying? Them pretty light skinned niggas in the '90s was running shit. You dig? That was hard for a young black chocolate nigga to deal with, and you ain't got no fresh, and you ain't like fresh. Like if you were young, dark skinned, fresh nigga, that's one thing. But nigga, I didn't have like no Jordans. I didn't have no Jordans in school. Period. None. I never had that experience of having a new Jordan. I ain't know what that shit was like. You understand what I'm saying? So like I had to like what it forced me to do. If I wanted a girlfriend, I had to make her like me just for who I was. Because I knew I wasn't gonna run up on her looking all extra pretty and shit. So it forced me to start developing those intangibles. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Let a nigga know while I hit this wedding cake. I'm about running out. I gotta re up. Ooh! Look at that wedding cake. What? Look at that thing, boy. Look at that thing, boy. You reckon? You reckon? Do you reckon? I reckon. I definitely reckon. I definitely reckon. You dig? This is what this thing said. Let me read some shit. I figured that shit out early. I couldn't study right. Honor society. As soon as the exam was over, I forgot all that shit. I wish I can do that. Math, I just couldn't do that, man. I just couldn't force myself to do it. I was too fucking bored of school. I was too fucking bored of school. The pain, like it's a weird having that weird dichotomy between knowing you feeling like you're kind of smart, but at the same time you don't feel like you're good enough. You're not confident enough. Confidence is the key. You can be as smart as you want to be, but if you ain't got the confidence, nigga, you gotta have the confidence. I didn't have no motherfucking confidence. I had to get that shit up. She asked me, she said, "Hey, LOL, I feel you. I'm just really hard on myself because I know the knowledge, but I keep embracing the past shit that messed with myself, with my esteem. But I understand it's not overnight. Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you watch my last video, I go into the importance of removing these things one by one and dealing with them one by one. You understand? As they come up in your memory, as you ponder on them, and as they come up, you got to deal with it. You got to be brave enough to hit that shit head on. You got to hit that shit head on. You got to be like, fuck, man. You know. and you gotta work with shit. You understand what I'm saying? You say you have the knowledge, then you have access to certain energies that you can get with that can counteract that shit. Because it's already in you, you just bringing the energy up. You connect with it, and you can use it to combat these things. I love getting with the energies. I love that shit. That's one of my favorite. That's like one of my favorite shits to do. I call them motherfuckers with conviction. I be expecting results. I don't be accepting anything less. I cuss they motherfucking ass clean out if I have to. If I motherfucking have to, because I know they come from my mind. I know they come from my mind, and they can continue to exist as long as they do my bidding, motherfuckers. I'm not a dictator, but fuck, I be needing shit done. You dig? When you be battling that shit on the inside, you need that shit done. That should be fucking you up on the inside. You be trying to get that shit done. You be like, oh man, I'm tired of this fucking thought. You know, you be ready to move on and do some other shit. So I feel you, Ash. You said I'm 50 and never owned a pair of Jordans. Had no desire, nigga. Nigga, I was so fucking traumatized by that shit. As soon as I got a job, was making any kind of money, nigga. Air Jordans, nigga. Air Jordans, nigga. Wasn't they coming out? You dig? Nigga, I was making up a lost time, nigga. Oh, I didn't get no Jordans when I was in school? Okay, motherfuckers. Oh, nigga broke, but guess what? These feet is gonna be fresh. You understand? I was definitely one of them niggas. I became one of them Air Jordan niggas when they coming out. You dig? When they coming out, I was definitely one of them niggas. I was making up a long time. I ain't give a fuck. I had an itch I needed to scratch. I didn't get no motherfucking Air Jordans as a child. Motherfucker. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm sitting here going to school with kids who didn't know shit about Jordan like I did, because I grew up idolizing the motherfucker. So they coming to school fresh than a motherfucker. And I'm sitting there looking like, and you know, see, when we was in school in the 90s, see, niggas know in the 90s, my semi, I ain't gonna say old heads, because we got some people that's a generation above us. But we were just gonna say in my era in the 90s, when we went to school, when the Jordans came out, they came out on Tuesday. You understand what I'm saying? So when the Jordans came out, kids they would miss the first class or two. They would come in with the bags, nigga, fresh, stunting on niggas. Stunting on niggas. They would come in with their bags like, yeah, nigga, Jordans, nigga. It's that Tuesday, nigga. Jordans, nigga. The Jordans out, nigga. The new Jordans, nigga. Oh, man. We couldn't wait for them East Bay magazines to come out, nigga, so we can check out what was hot, nigga. Like, ooh. I remember I was at the Boys and Girls Club. This nigga came up with these fresh ass blue, black, and white Nikes. I said, "Ooh, nigga, what are those, nigga?" That nigga said, that nigga had an orange soda. That nigga said, "Nigga, these the new Bruce Smiths." I said, "Ooh, nigga, them the new Bruce Smiths." Nigga, I was through. Nigga. The way he's stunning on me, he was like, "Oh yeah, these the new Bruce Smiths." Nigga, get you a pair, nigga. Oh man, niggas will stunt on your ass, boy. Niggas ain't got no problem stunting on your ass. Nigga, I was like 9 years old. Why would he do that to me? Why would he do that to me? That nigga said, "Oh, nigga, these are the new Bruce Smiths." Nigga, let me tell you how ill it was. When he said it, I didn't even know who Bruce Smith was. I just knew this shit was special, just how he said this shit, nigga, back in like 1995. That nigga said, "Oh, these are the new Bruce Smiths. These are new Bruce Smiths. Air turfs, motherfucker. Get you a pair, nigga." I remember just feeling so blessed, man. That shit fucks kids up, nigga. That's why uniforms is necessary. Uniforms is necessary, you dig? You gotta have uniforms. Because nigga, uniforms kinda neutralize the bullshit. Them niggas should have uniforms from head to toe, including sneakers, nigga. And socks. I don't I don't wanna see no kids with Nike socks or Gucci socks, nigga. Uniforms. Shit. Them motherfuckers need uniforms, nigga. I used to come to school, nigga. Kids used to be so fresh in school. It used to be some niggas that used to be so fresh. I'm gonna tell y'all somebody. I had a friend I went to school with in one of the years I felt. No, actually, I think I was actually in the eighth grade this time around. Believe it or not, I actually made the eighth grade. So in the eighth grade, the freshest kid I have ever been around. If those who remember, I mean, if anyone from Dothan ever happens to watch this video, who went to Beverly Middle School with me in the eighth grade by chance, there was this kid named Billy Joe. People, let me tell you something. This kid, from the day we started school, he didn't stay long. He was there for about half the school year. From the day he started to the day he left, he never wore the same thing twice. I'm gonna say that shit again, nigga. We talking about in the country south. This nigga had a brand new pair. He had a brand new pair of sneakers for every brand new pair of outfit with shoestrings to match the motherfucker. Monday through Friday. And I ain't talking about Bugle Boy, nigga. I'm talking about Polo, nigga. Tommy. You understand? All the flyer shit that was fly at the time. That nigga was fresh, nigga. I ain't never seen no shit like that. That nigga, he was quiet and relatively unassuming. I was the only one he really talked to. His name was Billy Joe. I was the only one he really would talk to. He would flash like $100 bills to me. That shit was fucking amazing to an eighth grader. I remember asking him, like, man, let me get one of those hundreds, man. Like, fuck. He used to always say, nah, man, nah. He was always cool, like, nah, man. You know, I need this for something. I need this for something. I'm like, yo, man. Let the nigga get $100 so I can get me a pair of sneakers. Fuck. You come in here looking fresh every day, nigga. He was a little dude, so it wasn't like I could get any hand me downs. Like he was like smaller than me, and I always been a little nigga. I'm only what am I 5'10", 135 maybe, little nigga. What y'all talking about? Oh, y'all laughing at my dumb ass. Yeah, closet was trash. I know, man. I remember going through a whole school year, but maybe one or two pair of pants every day for just flipping them bitches out. You know what I'm saying? Or any chance I had an opportunity. I think by the time I was in the eighth grade, I think I had like some opportunity to wear like some of my stepbrother's hand me downs, but they never really fit me well. You know what I'm saying? He was a completely different size than I was. He was way, more mature built than I was for sure. So like I was just wearing his hand me downs, wearing chaps. Y'all remember wearing chaps? Who know about chaps? He used to rock chaps back in the late '90s, early 2000s. Chaps. Used to bust that shit. Duck head. With that chaps. Y'all know who know what chaps stand for? Who can tell me what chaps stand for? Motherfuckers used to wear Ralph Lauren chaps. Who know what chaps stand for? There was an acronym we used to say for niggas who used to rock chaps. If you know what chaps is, it was a subsidiary brand of Ralph Lauren. He had Polo, Ralph Lauren. He had Polo, and he had like Ralph Lauren chaps or Polo chaps, whatever the fuck he called it. I don't think he make it anymore. I don't think they make chaps anymore. But yeah, I used to wear my brother's clothes, oversized pants. You understand what I'm saying? All this shit designed to beat you down, to make you less than. And then even when you see the niggas that made it, it's so few and far between. So the shit looks like just like a fucking pipe dream. You understand? Shit looks like a pipe dream. So your confidence is constantly beat down, and it's hard to see the divinity in you because of this. How could you possibly see yourself as divine when you flipping burgers? How? When your car don't even fucking work. You understand what I'm saying? When you can't even spell basic words, you like, fuck, nigga. It's hard to see yourself as divine down this motherfucker, baby. They did a good job beating motherfuckers down. They did a good job, baby. It's hard to see yourself as more than as a protested nigga. You understand what I'm saying? They beat you down, baby. That's all you can do is protest and react. Like, has it ever occurred to niggas to try something different, like something simple? If I was in a position to suggest anything, I would just say, how about we try something new, like ignore them. I don't nothing more, nothing less. How about we just ignore them? That's it. Just fucking ignore them. And ignore any motherfucker who is dumb enough to get themselves in that situation. Just ignore it. I don't give a fuck. How about that? But that's just a little too hard for whatever reason. Ignoring the motherfucker requires you letting go. Ignoring requires you to have a grip on your emotions. And most niggas don't have a grip on their emotions. Most motherfuckers ain't got a grip on their emotions. Emotions that are used or that are being manipulated and misused are just literally thoughts that are just out of control. When your emotions is out of control, that's just your mind that's out of control. Your mind is out of fucking control. You can't even control your emotions. That shit is fantastic. They playing a real good game down this motherfucker. They playing a good game. They playing a solid game. Them motherfuckers is dribbling with the left hand, going behind the back, between the legs on your motherfucking ass. And they ain't even dunking, they just finger rolling, bitch. I'll smoke to that. They don't even need the dunk on you. They finger roll. And it's high too, like the Iceman. They just finger roll that bitch. Just to style on your bitch ass. Because they don't need the dunk. They been dunking, but they don't up their skill level on these niggas. They just put a knee on another nigga's throat and got niggas going crazy. That's called styling and profiling, if you ask me. And they know a nigga gonna record it. They ain't even gotta set it up. They ain't even gotta set it up. They know it. They know a nigga gonna record it. That's the delivery system right there that Panic was talking about in that Purple Rain lecture. That awesome ass lecture, the Purple Rain lecture. He was talking about how YouTube is the delivery system. Your cell phone is the delivery system that makes this shit go. It's a part of it. Motherfucker film that shit. Motherfucker neck, I can't breathe again. Part 2, nigga. They done did it once 10 years ago, or ever how long ago that shit I can't breathe. They did a part 2 of that killing spree, like Ray Gibson on Life. Part two of my motherfucking killing spree. Gonna be off in your ass. Nigga, they did that shit again. God damn. And niggas fall for the banana and the motherfucking tailpipe. If you can take your emotions out of it, then you can see how clear the game is. It's a nice game. Oh, it's so cute. It's very cute. Very cute. And then they attach it to a motherfucker that actually knows them, which makes it even more real. Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson knows the brother personally. So that now makes it absolutely real. With Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, all those people, it like eerily enough, we know those brothers existed. Whatever but they didn't really seem that real to you. You understand what I'm saying? It was just something that was afar. The only thing that was real to you was the fear of it happening to your own people. But outside of that, Steven Jackson making this shit real to niggas. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they really like going hard on this one. Wedding cake. Wedding cake. Wedding cake. Let's know about that wedding cake. This should be having me high than a motherfucker. So, I'm not surprised. This is expected. This is expected. It's how the game goes. It just continues to perpetuate itself. Niggas keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Why change up? Why change? Shit. The way the system is set up, it's like shit. It's like the sky hook. I don't know what she does. I've been outside, DJ. I don't know, DJ. I don't know, DJ. I don't know where your mom is. Mm-mm. All right, BJ. Come on, man. I know you're trying to get you some shine. Get back, BJ. Come on, man. Let me, BJ. Why you trying to take my shine? Why you trying to take my shine? Why you trying to take my shine? Hey. Shit. Look at him, basking in it. Basking. Ooh, nigga, I'm so toasted and roasted. Look at my eyes. My eyes are like my grandfather K rolls. Woo! Roasted and toasted. Huh? Hell yeah, he amped. Boy, I made his mother hip to that sweet science called melatonin, nigga. Out of there. Nigga, melatonin is one of the greatest creations that ever came from our black mind. We knew when we incarnated down this motherfucker that melatonin had to exist. We knew that. Melatonin was necessary. We was like, all right, motherfucker, we'll go back down there and do some work, but god damn it, if there ain't no melatonin down on that motherfucker, we ain't coming back down that bitch. They said deal. Bam. Cause god damn it, boy, give that motherfucker like 2 gummies, give him a double dosage of that shit. Night night. Good night. Motherfuckers think it's candy too. Mmm, delicious. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh, you get them gummies? Yeah, you sure do get these gummies. You sure do. Oh, you sure do get these gummies. Oh shit. Oh, you damn right you get these gummies, motherfuckers. Oh, this is a snack you ain't gonna never miss out on ever again. You get these melatonins, nigga. You reckon? Get these motherfucking melatonins, nigga. Yeah, you is. Get these tonins so you can go night night. Give them to you on time. Oh, and them bitches work on time. They work on time. It ain't like It ain't like the motherfuckers be slipping. And they're very punctual. I say that they're very punctual. Hit their ass, bam, motherfuckers. Just when they getting into their favorite Netflix show, right when they getting into it, like a light, like a light, like a light. I want to play music so bad I can't do that shit. They don't see they can't, man. They don't make this shit fun. Copyright infringement and shit like that. This shit could be so much more funner. It could be more funner. This shit could be way more funner. It could be the funnest ever. It could be the funnest time ever. The funnest time in history. The funnest. Shows y'all niggas how to use proper vernacular. You dig? We are in the so-called end times of this shit. I was you put in the you put in the microwave for me. Appreciate you, sweetie. I was wondering something, right? And when you look at the first principle of Tahuti, right? The mind is all, the universe is mental. They say when you die that you're outside of time, right? They say that you become outside of time once you die. You are in a moment where you're outside of time, and during this time, you're able to make certain observations, whatever the case may be. I mean, we don't know it fully. But one of the universal things, when you cross-reference, they say something that you're outside of time. If that is the case, when you die, if you're outside of time, isn't it possible that you can re-enter, you can reincarnate in any time that you want? Kind of think about that. That can kind of help put your current reality kind of in a weirder perspective. If you're outside of time, why is it necessary? You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. Why be chronological? You don't have to be. I think it's quite possible that motherfuckers are stuck in the 70s still. I think it's quite possible. I think there's motherfuckers who are stuck in doing 1973 over and over, 79 over and over. If you die, you're outside of time. If your consciousness is stuck in that era, I think it's quite possible you can be doing the same time over and over. Or you can die and go back in different times and repeat certain shit for whatever purpose. I don't think you die and you instantly come back in time. You understand? Just a thought. Just a thought. If you are outside of time, that means you have the autonomy to choose whatever time you want in any era you want. for whatever purpose. It's kind of like you can enter the game whenever you like. It just depends on what console you want to play. So let's just say for instance, I wanted to play Nintendo, right? So I came in the era to play Nintendo, but perhaps my little brother wanted to play PlayStation 2, so he came in that era. Although we are sharing the same realities, we just decided to play two different consoles. Think about that. We are in the same reality, but just playing two different games. The same game. They're both under the vein of video games. But if you were born in 1970, that's a different video game. That's a different console. You dig what I'm saying? You be playing ping pong or that pong shit. You just experience more games along the way. But the game is still the same, just different consoles. It just all depends on when you decide to play the shit. And when you want to play the shit. You can play it whenever you want, however you want. What's stopping you? I feel like a lot of this shit is just repeat shit. I truly feel that way. I feel like when they do shit like this George, what's his name? I'm sorry, I don't even know the brother's name. George Floyd, or is it Floyd or Flood? Let me know. I think it's Flood or Floyd, one of the two, right? Um, when they do that thing, I just feel like it's like hitting a reset button. It's literally like restarting the game. It's like watching the game be restarted. It's like it's like when the COVID shit started, I don't think they anticipated how comfortable niggas was going to get in this shit. Okay, Floyd. I think they felt like niggas was gonna miss normalcy too much. But in reality, we was accepting this as the new normal. Niggas started to really love this shit. They started to recognize that. They say, oh no, niggas is actually being progressive. Niggas is actually doing shit like actually getting their mind right, relaxing. Niggas have never been more relaxed in their motherfucking life. So what do? You hit the reset button. So you can put like that jolt of normalcy back to get you prepared to get back in traffic again. You understand what I'm saying? To get you prepared to punch that clock again. To get prepared to stare, to do all that shit back to normal. They want motherfuckers to miss normalcy again. They want you to feel like how shit was normal prior to this COVID shit happening. That's the key. They're resetting the game because niggas was motherfuckers starting to start to quote unquote starting to become a bit more aware and shit. So if certain motherfuckers was on the perhaps of doing this thing, now let's hit the reset button. Phew. Step on the nigga neck, dead, boom. Let's get your attention there. Y'all just a little bit too relaxed. This COVID shit got out of control. We thought we could turn it on and off, but this shit has been got out of our control. So let's hit this restart button. Let's do what always works. Kill a Negro in public. Always works. Every time. Every time. Every time. Never fails. It never fails. It never fails. Damn, ma, I'm just chilling. So that's the importance of emotions. That is the importance of emotions. If you're able to control your emotions, you're able to control your thoughts. Then if you can control your thoughts, you can control your reality. It's all about emotions. It's all about emotions. You get your emotions in order, you can get over a lot of bullshit. You can get over a lot of shit. Get your emotions intact. So you can relieve yourself of the bullshit so your mind can be open to accept new shit. So you can start to expand and unfold. So you can accept a new reality. As long as you have human shit on your mind, your reality will always be dictated by that fact, which is under humanity. You can't see past that. You will build worlds in your mind. You will build realities in your mind based on this human construct. Once you relieve yourself of this human shit, what you allow yourself to do is create something new in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? Something that's better, something that is more fitting to the reason why you came here. You start answering that question why you came here. I understand now why I came here. When I was a little boy in that charter school, there was a mythology book. It was a big yellow book, and no one was. I just so happened to pick it up and read it. It was about Greek mythology, and I used to read that book every motherfucking day. And it was one particular deity in there in which I was absolutely obsessed over, and it was Hermes. I didn't know why, but it was Hermes. I used to like for arts and crafts. I used to build the wings that Hermes wore on his sandals. That was always the thing I wanted to do. I just want to build wings and then tie them around my feet. Motherfuckers thought I was crazy. I used to have like red wings and shit. I used to paint them red, and I would just lace them around my shoes and run around with these giant wings on my feet, trying to be Hermes. I used to have like the wings, you know what I'm saying? I had to create the wings out of cardboard. I had the whole I had the wand that he carried. I'm trying to think. The only thing I don't remember having. I couldn't figure out the hat part to wear the wings on the hat. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't figure that part out. But when you grow and you start and you go back and look at things and you study Hermes as the messenger, you understand what I'm saying? And he's connected to Tahuti. You understand what I'm saying? You start to feel a sense of synergy with that, and you start to connect to it. You understand what I'm saying? Start to connect to it. Yeah, he had the helmet with the wings, no doubt. I just didn't have it because I didn't know how to make that shit. But believe you me, if I could, I would have definitely had it on. And because this damn fan on me, I'm got the sweating out this bitch. So yeah, man. It took me a lot of shit to get over in my heart to have the courage to come out and be on any sort of camera. Those videos that I did with Panic, I never went back and watched it. I was so insecure about it. I knew, like, I never had this idea that, well, now that I'm gonna be on a video with Brother Panic, now I'm gonna be on now. I never had that attitude. You know what I'm saying? I never had that attitude. Those videos got several thousand views on it. I never had it in my mind that those views was because of me. Never. I just felt like I was just sitting there. I never felt like those are not my views. You understand what I'm saying? I had no preconceived agendas to that shit. I was a student every time there. I didn't want to answer any questions. I was there just to listen. I was in total 100% student mode. 100%. You know, I had no expectations. I just wanted to learn in any way that I could. You dig? So, anyways, let me. I've been in this bitch for hour 35. You understand? I mean, it's an hour 35. I'm gonna holler at y'all Negroes in a little bit, and then I do this again. This is fun, man. It's fun. Like fucking with y'all. You know, it looks like y'all kind of enjoyed it, so I will definitely be back, and then we will be kicking it up a notch, talking about some other shit. All right, peace.